The sound of ripping fabric echoed through the silent classroom. Madison Harper stood there, her white blouse torn open from shoulder to chest, exposing her undergarments. 28 students sat with mouths agape, phones raised to record. Ethan Bradford, the mayor's son, still clutched the torn fabric in his hand and with a triumphant smile. "You think you're someone special, giving us Fs," Ethan growled, throwing the fabric to the floor. Madison didn't tremble, as everyone expected. Instead, she remained eerily calm, her right hand slowly touching the silver necklace around her throat, a movement that seemed unconscious, like someone in shock. "You just made the biggest mistake of your life." She smiled coldly, her eyes piercing through everything. Before we continue with Madison's incredible story, if you've ever experienced bullying or know someone who has, please hit that like button to show your support. Your comments sharing your own experiences help build a community where no one suffers alone. And if these stories inspire you or help someone find their voice, consider hitting the thanks button below this video. Every contribution, no matter how small, helps us bring more powerful stories to those who need to hear them most. Thank you for being part of this journey with us. Westbrook Elite Academy, Boston's most expensive private school, where 1 year's tuition equaled a lifetime's income for average people. The 12th grade English classroom on the 3rd floor overlooked manicured golf courses. Madison Harper had arrived 3 weeks ago, replacing the previous teacher who had suddenly resigned for health reasons. She was 28 years old, petite, with brown hair pulled back neatly, an intellectual beauty behind square-rimmed glasses. Students whispered she graduated from Harvard, but was naive and easy to bully, especially when she dared grade fairly. Showing no favoritism to wealthy students, Ethan Bradford wasn't just the mayor's son, he was the football team captain, standing 6 feet 2 inches tall with an athletic build. Classically handsome American features with blonde hair and cold blue eyes. But behind that perfect exterior, Madison had noticed something, how he flinched whenever someone mentioned Sarah, how his friends fell silent when anyone brought up last year's incident. Today's class atmosphere was more tense than usual. Madison had just returned the exam papers on The Scarlet Letter. Ethan and his friends all received Fs for plagiarism. This was the first time in school history that any teacher had dared fail the mayor's son. "You're new here, so you don't understand the rules." Jake Morrison, Ethan's right-hand man, stood up. "At Westbrook, some people have their own rules." "Rules?" Madison adjusted her glasses, voice steady. "Or do you mean the way everyone stays silent about Sarah Coleman?" The room froze. Ethan shot up, face draining of color. Small details began emerging. The necklace Madison wore wasn't ordinary jewelry. It had a small stone that glowed faintly whenever she touched it. The way she observed the classroom wasn't like a normal teacher. Her eyes swept quickly, noting every detail, every reaction. When Ethan moved closer, she didn't step back like the previous teacher had. "Don't mention that name," Ethan snarled. "Why, what are you afraid of?" Madison challenged. That's when Ethan lost control. He grabbed Madison's collar forcefully, fabric tearing. But instead of panicking, Madison smiled, the smile of someone who just got what they wanted. "Thank you, Ethan," Madison said, hand still on the necklace. "You just assaulted me in front of 28 witnesses and at least 15 phone cameras." The light from the stone on her necklace shifted from pale blue to red. A signal had been sent. "What are you doing?" Ethan was confused. "Activating emergency protocol," Madison replied. "You see, I'm not just a teacher, and investigating Sarah Coleman's death is more important than you think." "She's not dead," "She's missing!" Jake Morrison shouted, then immediately realized what he'd just said. Police sirens sounded in the distance. Getting closer? Ethan staggered backward. What? What are you talking about? Sarah ran away from home. Everyone knows that. Everyone was told to believe that, Madison corrected, maintaining her composure despite her torn shirt. But the missing person report says otherwise. Sarah sent a distress message on October 15th last year. Her last text, "Ethan and his group are chasing me. I'm so scared." The classroom erupted. Students began whispering, some remembering Sarah, the kind scholarship girl who was always bullied by Ethan's group. Madison picked up her phone, not a regular iPhone, but a military-grade encrypted communication device. This technology could record with forensic quality, provide precise GPS tracking, and connect directly to command centers. All evidence collected had absolute legal value, impossible to edit or falsify. She pressed a few buttons, and the device hummed to life, its advanced AI already cross-referencing data from multiple sources. "You have no proof," Ethan yelled, but his voice trembled. "Oh, I do." Madison pressed a few buttons on the phone. "Like your father's call to Police Chief Wilson the night Sarah disappeared. Handle it quietly. My son isn't involved." The sirens grew louder. Outside the window, 3 police cars entered the school gates. Connor Davis, another member of the group, suddenly stood up. "I can't keep this secret anymore. Sarah didn't run away. We chased her to the lake. Ethan said just to scare her, but—" "Shut up!" Ethan lunged to punch Connor, but Madison intervened with incredible speed. She raised her hand to block Ethan's punch, spun around and sent him face first to the floor in one smooth motion. The whole class was stunned. The petite teacher had just taken down the large football player. 5 years of training at Quantico, Madison said, still keeping Ethan pinned to the floor. "I don't just teach literature. Ethan, I'm here to find the truth about Sarah." The classroom door burst open. Police Chief Wilson himself led the team, face turning pale when he saw the scene. "Harper, you don't have authority." "Wrong." Madison cut him off. "Special Agent Harper, Federal Missing Persons Unit, and you, Wilson, are under investigation for obstruction." Ethan struggled. "My father will destroy you." "He's the mayor. Your father is busy." Madison released him. "Right now, the FBI is searching his office. Turns out, it's not just covering up Sarah's case. He's connected to 3 other disappearances in the past 5 years. Multiple students' phones buzzed simultaneously, news spreading fast online. Mayor Bradford arrested by FBI. Connor, still shaking, continued, "Sarah found out about the drug trafficking ring involving some parents at school. She was going to report it. Ethan was ordered to handle her." "She's still alive!" Jake suddenly yelled. "They didn't kill her. They sold her to—" Another officer rushed in. "Agent Harper, we just received a signal. A girl matching Sarah Coleman's description was found in an abandoned warehouse, 30 miles away. She's alive." Madison opened her laptop, displaying professional legal data analysis software. This system accessed nationwide criminal databases, analyzed behavioral patterns, and connected seemingly unrelated cases. The integrated AI had helped discover the connection between Sarah's case and an interstate human trafficking network. The software's predictive algorithms were already generating leads on other potential victims, cross-referencing missing persons reports with similar patterns. Ethan completely broke down. "I didn't want this. They said just to scare her. But when Sarah threatened to expose everything, my father He called other people. I didn't know they would sell her. Madison finished the sentence. A human trafficking ring operating within the elite education system. The missing girls were all scholarship students. No powerful families to protect them. Police Chief Wilson tried to flee the room but was blocked by FBI agents. They had surrounded the building since Madison sent the signal. 18 months of investigation, Madison told the shocked class. I'm sorry I had to go undercover, but this was the only way to infiltrate. Sarah and the other girls deserve justice. Madison's phone rang. She answered, putting it on speaker. Harper here. Agent Harper. Sarah Coleman is safe. She's receiving medical care, and she's ready to testify. The entire class fell silent with emotion. Some students were crying. They had been Sarah's friends. There's more, the voice continued. Sarah has identified 12 other girls being held. Teams are moving to all locations now. Madison turned to the class, her torn shirt a testament to the violence she'd endured for this moment. What happened here today isn't just about one corrupt family or one missing girl. It's about a system that protects predators and silences victims. Ethan was handcuffed, tears streaming down his face. I'm sorry, he whispered. I'm so sorry. Sorry doesn't bring back 18 months of Sarah's life, Madison replied. But your testimony might save others. As they led Ethan away, more revelations poured in. Students began speaking up, sharing what they knew, what they'd been too afraid to say before. The culture of silence at Westbrook was crumbling. Principal Henderson arrived, face ashen. Agent Harper, I had no idea. Really? Madison pulled up files on her laptop. Your signature is on the withdrawal papers for 5 missing girls over 4 years. All scholarship students, all reported as family emergencies. The principal's legs gave out. He slumped into a chair. They said if I didn't cooperate, they'd destroy the school, ruin all the students' futures. The only futures destroyed were those girls, Madison said coldly. You're under arrest for conspiracy. By now, news vans were arriving. The story was going viral. FBI agent poses as teacher to bust human trafficking ring at elite school. But Madison wasn't interested in fame. She was focused on one thing. Where's Sarah now? She asked into her phone. Boston General. Secure wing. She's asking for you. Madison looked at her torn shirt, then at the students. I need to go see Sarah. But first, I want you all to know something. You have more power than you think. Your voices matter. Don't let anyone, no matter how rich or powerful, silence you. She gathered her things, preparing to leave. When a sophomore girl approached tentatively, Agent Harper, my sister, she disappeared from another prep school 2 years ago. They said she ran away, but Madison stopped, turning back. What's your sister's name? Rachel Martinez. She was on scholarship too. Madison's expression softened. We'll find her. I promise. As she walked through the door, escorted by federal agents, the reality of what had just happened began sinking in for everyone. The mayor's son had attacked a teacher, thinking his power made him untouchable. Instead, he'd attacked a federal agent and exposed a massive criminal conspiracy. The torn shirt that was meant to humiliate had become evidence. The assault meant to silence had triggered justice, and the signal from that innocuous silver necklace had brought down one of New England's most powerful political families. But this was just the beginning. As Madison drove toward the hospital to reunite Sarah with her family, her phone kept buzzing with new leads, new cases, new girls who might still be saved. The system that had protected predators for years was finally being exposed. one torn shirt at a time. The hospital corridor smelled of antiseptic and hope. Madison walked past the security checkpoint, her FBI badge clearing the way, behind the reinforced glass doors of the secure wing. Sarah Coleman sat propped up in bed. 18 months older, but with the same gentle eyes Madison had seen in photographs. "Agent Harper." Sarah's voice was barely above a whisper. Madison approached slowly, giving the girl time to process. "Call me Madison. How are you feeling?" "Like I'm dreaming," Sarah said, tears flowing freely. "They told me no one was looking, that everyone believed I ran away." "We never stopped looking," Madison assured her. "Your mother never gave up. Neither did I." Sarah's expression darkened. "There are others, so many others. They moved us every few weeks, but I tried to remember everything." Madison pulled out a specialized tablet, not the standard FBI issue, but a custom forensic documentation system with advanced memory reconstruction software. The device could create detailed timelines from fragmented memories, build location profiles from partial descriptions, and cross-reference details against thousands of missing persons cases simultaneously. Sarah began talking, and the AI transcribed everything, building a web of connections that spanned 3 states. "The warehouse where they kept me wasn't the first location," Sarah explained. "There was a house first, near water. I could smell the ocean. And there was this woman who brought us food. She had a distinctive tattoo, a butterfly with numbers underneath." Madison's tablet pinged. The system had already matched the description to a missing persons report from 2 years ago. Rachel Martinez, the sister of the girl who had approached her at school. "Sarah, did you ever meet a girl named Rachel?" Sarah's eyes widened. "Rachel with the poetry. She was in the room next to mine for months. Is she—" "We're going to find her," Madison promised. "We're going to find them all." Meanwhile, back at Westbrook Elite Academy, the full scope of the scandal was emerging. FBI agents had seized computers, files, and financial records. What they found went beyond human trafficking. It was an entire black market economy built on exploiting vulnerable students. Principal Henderson, now in custody, had begun cooperating fully. "It started small," he confessed during interrogation, "just looking the other way when powerful families bent rules. Then they had leverage. Each time I compromised, they owned me more." The evidence revealed a network of elite schools across New England, all connected by a shadow organization that profited from everything from grade manipulation to college admission fraud to, ultimately, human trafficking. Scholarship students who threatened to expose the corruption simply disappeared. Mayor Bradford's arrest made national headlines, but he was just middle management. The real power lay with a group of ultra-wealthy families who viewed laws as suggestions and people as commodities. They had judges, police chiefs, and politicians in their pockets. Madison received a call as she left the hospital. "Harper, we have a problem," her supervisor said. "Bradford's lawyer is already working on a deal. He's offering names in exchange for immunity." "No deal," Madison said firmly. "He sold children. It's not our call. This comes from above." Madison felt the familiar frustration of justice being negotiated away. But then her phone buzzed with a message from an unknown number. "Check your email. A friend who remembers Sarah." The email contained financial records, communications, and most importantly, videos. Someone inside the trafficking ring had been documenting everything as insurance. The footage was damning. Mayor Bradford wasn't just complicit. He was a key organizer. Madison forwarded everything to her supervisor and, for good measure, to 3 major news outlets. Within an hour, the footage was everywhere. No deal could save Bradford now. Sarah's testimony, combined with the evidence Madison had gathered, led to raids across 3 states. 47 arrests were made in the first wave, including judges, school administrators, and business leaders. 12 girls were rescued alive. 3, heartbreakingly, were confirmed dead, their bodies found based on Sarah's memories of overheard conversations. But something nagged at Madison. The organization was too sophisticated, too well protected to have been exposed so easily. Even with her undercover work, even with Sarah's testimony. It felt like someone had wanted this particular network to fall. She voiced her concerns to Sarah during a follow-up interview. Did you ever sense that someone inside was helping you, leaving doors unlocked, providing extra food? Sarah nodded slowly. There was someone. I never saw their face clearly, but sometimes I'd find things. A phone with just enough battery for one call, though I was too scared to use it. Keys that didn't quite fit, but were close enough to give me hope. Madison's tablet pulled up a pattern analysis. Several of the rescued girls reported similar experiences, mysterious help that never quite led to escape, but kept them alive, kept them hoping. Someone inside the organization had been playing a longer game. The breakthrough came when they arrested Diane Morrison, the woman with the butterfly tattoo Sarah had described. During questioning, she revealed something chilling. You only found the expendable part. The real operation is untouchable. They let you have this victory to distract from what's really happening. What's really happening? Madison pressed. Morrison laughed bitterly. You think this is about trafficking? That's just the side business. The real product is influence. Every kid that goes through their schools, every family that pays for silence, every official who takes a bribe, they own them forever. Madison felt the case shifting beneath her feet. They hadn't exposed a trafficking ring. They'd trimmed a branch of something much larger. That night, while reviewing evidence at her makeshift office, Madison noticed something odd in the background of one of the surveillance photos. A man in an expensive suit, partially obscured, but wearing a distinctive ring, a signet ring with a symbol she recognized from her research into secret societies. She cross-referenced the image against facial recognition databases and found nothing. But then, Sarah called with a memory that changed everything. I just remembered something, Sarah said urgently. The night I was taken, Ethan kept checking his phone. He said something about the council making the decision. I thought he meant student council, but Madison's blood ran cold. The council. She'd heard whispers of it during her investigation, a shadow organization of ultra-elites who supposedly controlled everything from Ivy League admissions to political appointments. Most agents dismissed it as conspiracy theory. But what if it wasn't? The next morning brought terrible news. Diane Morrison had been found dead in her cell. Suicide, they said. Though the security cameras had mysteriously malfunctioned. Mayor Bradford had suffered a heart attack during a transfer. 3 key witnesses had suddenly decided to recant their testimony. The case was falling apart, and Madison knew why. They'd gotten too close to the real power. We're closing the active investigation, her supervisor informed her. We got the girls back. Shut down the trafficking ring. That's a win. But the people really responsible are beyond our reach for now. Madison looked at the evidence board in her office, covered with photos, connections, and questions. They'd saved 12 girls, exposed part of the network, and put some bad people away. But the roots remained deep and hidden. She was packing up when she found an envelope slipped under her door. Inside was a single photo, a group of men and women in formal attire, faces obscured, standing before a banner with the same symbol from the ring. On the back, someone had written, "The Council appreciates your work in removing the liability. Your students at Westbrook will be safe now. Don't dig deeper." Madison stared at the photo, understanding the implicit threat and promise. They'd let her have this victory, save these girls, because she'd inadvertently helped them clean house. The sloppy, visible criminals had been removed, allowing the real organization to continue operating in deeper shadows. Her phone rang. It was the sophomore from Westbrook, voice bright with hope. "Agent Harper, they found my sister Rachel's alive. She's coming home." Madison smiled, even as she looked at the threatening photo. "That's wonderful news. I'm so happy for you. Will you keep teaching at Westbrook, now that your investigation is over?" Madison paused. Technically, her cover was blown, but maybe that was exactly where she needed to be, in plain sight, watching, protecting the vulnerable students who didn't even know they were at risk. "You know what I think I will. Someone needs to teach those kids about the Scarlet Letter properly." She hung up and made a decision. The official investigation might be over, but her work wasn't. The council thought they'd neutralized her by letting her win. They didn't understand that saving those 12 girls had only strengthened her resolve. Madison filed the photo with her personal records, not the FBI files. Someday, when the time was right, when she had enough evidence that even the council couldn't suppress, she'd finish what she started. She returned to Westbrook the following Monday, this time as herself, Agent Madison Harper, temporary English teacher. The students looked at her differently now, with respect tinged with awe. But she still had a job to do. During her first class back, she assigned a new book, The Crucible. "Who can tell me what happens when good people stay silent in the face of injustice?" she asked. Every hand in the room went up as she called on students. Madison noticed something new in their eyes, not fear, but determination. They'd seen what courage could accomplish. They'd learned that even the powerful could fall. Outside, a black sedan with tinted windows sat idling across from the school. Madison saw it, knew what it meant. The council was watching. She smiled and continued teaching. Let them watch. Every student she inspired, every young mind she opened to justice and courage, was a future threat to their power. The war wasn't over. It had just begun. And somewhere in Boston, Sarah Coleman was starting her senior year at a new school, alive and free. Proof that sometimes the good guys do win, even if victory is more complicated than it seems. Evil thrives when good people do nothing, Madison told her class. So what are you going to do? The question hung in the air, powerful and dangerous, a challenge to everyone who heard it. Some fights are worth finishing, no matter how long they take. Madison understood this truth now more than ever. The council might have infinite resources, generational wealth, and tentacles reaching into every institution, but they had one fatal weakness. They underestimated the power of truth spoken by those who refused to be silenced. Every rescued girl, every student who learned to question authority, every parent who demanded accountability was another crack in their foundation. Time was on her side, because, while they protected their empire of shadows, she was building an army of light. And light, no matter how small, always defeats darkness in the end.